everyone, welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today I have with us, he's a director, and he has a new movie that's going to be premiering April 6th, I'm sorry, in California, and it's called What Lives Here. I have with us Troy Burbank. Troy, welcome to the Horror Room.
Oh, thank you, Travis. Appreciate you having me on.
It's a pleasure to have you on, man. Listen, so tell us a little bit about What Lives Here.
Okay, let me turn that phone off. Yeah, so what lives here is it's a slasher. It's a slasher film, which I love doing them. That's my favorite genre. But I mean, I like comedies. I like dramas. I like everything, but horror is kind of my ace. You know what I mean? That's the one I really love to watch and do. You know what I mean? So yeah. So this film is kind of like it's like an 80s type of feel movie, because I grew up in the 80s watching the 80s horror, and that's what I like. I like them type of films. So it's kind of like a throwback to the 80s type of films.
Okay.
So I don't want to give it away, but that's probably sums it up right there.
So what gave you the inspiration for the story for this movie?
Well, you know what? It's kind of a funny story. So last year, my wife and I went to it's called the Harborside. It's our local restaurant bar. Serves good food and stuff like that. So we went there for dinner on a Saturday night, and the place was mobbed. And we walked in, and you have to kind of walk through the bar to get to the back restaurant area where they sit you back there. And I know a lot of people because it's a local bar. So this one lady, Patty, she stops and she's like, "Hey, Troy." She's from town, Leonardo, and I know her whole family. She's like, "Hey, when you gonna film in the Strauss Mansion?" I'm like, really never thought about it, and I really don't know anybody to kind of get me in there. And she's like, "Well, yeah, you do." And I was like, "I do?" She goes, "Yeah, me. I run it." I was like, I said, "I didn't know that." So I was like, she's like, if you ever want to come by and take a look." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, like it never dawned on me, but now that you brought it to my attention, sounds like a pretty good idea. The place is great. It's just the location is fantastic. It's an old 86 Victorian house with 25 rooms in it, old creepy basement. So it's a perfect location. So she's like, she goes, "Take my number down," and took her number down. And I said, "Whenever you're free, let me know. I'll come by and take a look at it." She's like, "What about tomorrow?" I said, "Well, tomorrow's Super Bowl Sunday." She's like, I don't care." I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll text you 12, and if you're around, I'll take, and literally it's only 5 minutes from my house." And long story short, she answers the phone. She's like, "Yeah, come on over now." So my wife and I jumped into the car. We took a ride, like I said, 5 minutes away. We get out, we go in the house. I said, you mind if we just look around?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll sit down here," because she's been through the house a million times, so it's not like she wants to follow us along. So my wife and I walked around. We're like, "Oh my God, this place is fantastic." I mean, it's like a dream come true to go into this house and just everything that the house. The house is totally furnished. The props were there. Everything you can imagine was set up for us to film. It was crazy. So we go through and we're taking kind of mental notes, and so we go downstairs. I was like, "Listen," I said, "I love it." I said, "What's the how much money is it going to cost to come here and buy the film here?" And she's like, "Well, we get $500 a day." I was like, which is still a great deal, but I said, "Yeah, I can't afford $500 a day, because we're that's we have 11 days here to shoot."
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, what do you propose?" I said, if you can take 2,000, I said, then you got a deal. And I said, "Why don't you go back to the board?" She's got to bring it in front of the board. And so I said, "Bring it in front of the board, see what they say." Because I'm going to write the script according to this house. I said, "So if it's a no, I'm not going to waste my time and write a script. It's going to take me 5 months to write." So she's like, "Yeah, no problem." We left, go home. We're getting ready for our annual Super Bowl party, and she calls me. She's like, "Oh, Troy, it's Patty. I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, you got the place. I was like, I didn't expect to get it. I just threw some low ball number, and and they took it. So that's the rest is history. So that's how it actually got me inspired to write it. By her, actually, I'm running into her by accident, one night going out to dinner. So that's like really the true story about how I got inspired by that house.
It's crazy how things just line up perfectly.
Yes, yeah, it's because they never really, we always go by the house and they're just because I never thought they would let people film in there because it's just a historical society and they do tours and other things like that. But I was like, it just never. I never said, ooh, I would love to get in there because I just knew it was added in my realm. You know what I mean? I never just didn't think it could happen. Then one night we just happened to go out to dinner and bam, it happened. And I don't know. So the history of the house, really, there was a movie filmed. So my movie and another movie is the only two movies that were ever filmed in that house, and it was called "Don't Go in the House," a 1979 movie. It's a cult classic. You can Google it. The house is just as good as it is now. Actually, I think it's a little better now, to be honest with you, because they fixed it up a little bit more. But there's a cult classic. Everybody in the horror community knows this movie. It's kind of a cheesy movie, but it's so good you can't help but to watch it. You know what I mean? It's one of them type of deals, But so that's the only and coincidental. It's this year is the 45th anniversary of the filming of that house in the movie, so we're going to try to link these two movies together. You know what I mean? So we're going to see how that works out. But I mean, it's two different storylines, but still the same house.
Same. Now, but by this, we're falling under the concept of 80s horror films. So I grew up in the 80s and watched and fell in love with horror through the 80s. And two of the key factors when it comes to 80s slasher films, you got to have over the top gore and you got to have tits. Are we going to be seeing those?
Yeah. Well, you're not you're gonna see gore, but I wouldn't say over the top, unrealistic gore. You're going to see realistic stuff that can happen. So the gore is definitely in there because that's what sells. Gore and slasher and blood and stuff like that, and obviously sex sells. But I try to keep it. We have a couple things in there that it's brings you back to the 80s. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? I don't want to say what, but it's good. It's really good actually. So.
Now,
but yeah, you're right. That's what sells, and I think we kind of accomplished that.
Now, are there any horror filmmakers that you've gotten inspiration from over the years when making movies?
Well, what it is, it's I'm a big fan, like huge fan of John Carpenter. All his stuff, you know what I mean? A big fan of him, and the Halloweens. Super big fan of the Halloweens. The Friday the 13th. They're my two big, I'd say, horror movies that I never get tired of. You know what I mean? I just watch them all the time. It could be the Christmas time and Halloween will be on. You know what I mean? So John Carpenter is probably the big one that really inspired me, you know what I mean, for horror flicks like that. So I'd say him, definitely.
And one thing that's great about 80s slashers is especially, they don't take themselves too seriously. There's gore, there's, they scare the shit out of you. But at the same time, there's some campiness, there's some fun to them as well.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of the so to speak campy type of horror. You know what I mean, like sleepaway camps and stuff like that. They're, yes. I mean, it's just and type of April Fools. You know what I mean, and Happy Birthday to Me. All them type of films that is classic, and that's kind of what we were trying to achieve with this film. You know what I mean, because that's what I like. You know what I mean? So, and I'm trying to bring that back now because these generation kids are watching horror. They never really experienced unless they go back on Tubi and, you know, and watch all the old stuff, which they're probably not going to do. You know what I mean? So I thought, hey, listen, let's make something like that today and see if we can grab a new audience. And I think we accomplished that because it's really that good. And I think the kids, you know, I think they're going to really adapt to the movie, you know, because I have kids that are, you know, between 30 and 16. And I told them, I said, listen, you got to share this trailer with all your friends. And they're sharing it with everybody. And they're coming back. Wow, this thing is awesome, man. This is, and this is 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, you know, so yeah. They're like, where can I see it? I got to see this movie. So I think we're, you know, we're kind of accomplishing that. In my personal opinion, I think we did. So, which I'm pretty excited about.
Now, I guess you can't answer this question, but as a filmmaker, I've asked a lot of filmmakers this question. When it comes to making a horror movie, do you already have in your mind if there's going to be a sequel, or is that something that you wait until you wait for the reception of the first one before you start thinking about a sequel?
Well, you know, I mean, I write this stuff too, so I think as a writer, you would like to set it up for a sequel. You know what I mean? So you can plan everything, and because I personally don't think it falls in line just accidentally a sequel. You know what I mean? I think when you're putting it on the page, it's like, you know, we're gonna have this person live, so there could be a part 2, and then in part 2 you're gonna have this person live, so it could be a part 3. If you know, if the story can take you that far, you know what I mean? So this particular story, could there be a sequel? Yeah, there could be. You know what I mean? So I kind of left the door open for that. But, you know, as of right now, we're just focusing on this one and seeing what kind of, you know, reception we get and people liking it. You know what I mean? So, but as a writer, I think you go into it preparing yourself for a sequel. I mean, I would, you know, so, or, you know, even if you're not, you leave the door open a little bit. So you can, you know what I mean? So if you want to, so that's how I think I would approach it like that. So especially if I'm writing it and, you know, I'm like, yeah, I know I can get 2 more movies out of this thing, which if they're successful, you want that, you know? So as exactly. A writer director. So I think, but this one particular movie, I think we could get something out of it. We can get a part 2 out of it. You know, listen, if Halloween gave the part 2, after Michael, you know, or I'm sure say, yeah, part 2 when he burns in a hospital parking lot. I think, you know, we can muster something up. You know what I mean? So, so I don't think anything's off the table.
Yeah, because John Carpenter meant that for that movie just to be a one-off, and because it was so successful, you know, the studios was like, okay, you got to make a part 2 and a part 3, part 4. You know what I mean? And like, but he meant for that movie just to be a one-off. That was it. But like, sometimes you have to leave that door open just in case, you know, if people ask for more.
Thank God he didn't.
Exactly, right?
They do
now.
Exactly. I mean, listen, if they're willing to come, right? If they're willing to come to the theater and watch it, it's your duty to make it, right?
Exactly. You got to please your audience.
So I mean, that's how how I feel about that stuff. But
so, as a filmmaker, you do the writing. You found your filming locations. You got your actors, actresses. You could make the movie, pre-production, all of that. How does it feel once you're done? Once you get into that post-production and a lot of the big pressure is off, and you're starting to edit, and you're starting to see the project, and you're starting to see the pieces that come together. What does that feel like?
Oh, well, it's like, I mean, from the beginning when you're writing it, you know, you're going through a couple different drafts, and you know, you're trying to make the story make sense, and you know, get all your characters down. For me, that's the hardest part. And my wife and I, we both write it together. You know what I mean? So, you know, we kind of bounce ideas off each other and fight and do all that other good stuff. You know what I mean? While we're writing, but once you get the script, I mean, for us, once we get the script done, then the fun stuff really happens. You know what I mean? Like you got to cast, and when I say fun, I mean the hard stuff, because when you're independent filmmaker, you're doing everything yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have the budget to say, you go find the location. Hey John, you go take care of the food. You know, you go make sure you're the locations manager. You do this. We need this. We need that. I do all that. You know what I mean? I'm the guy that has that responsibility to make all that happen. You know, casting and this or the other thing. So to me, that's the hard part. And then when it comes to filming, it's not that we rush it, but sometimes we have to, you know, we can't, we're not sitting here taking, 25 takes, you know what I mean? So, because that doesn't mean you're always going to get a better result. You know what I mean? We could do the first one and all of a sudden like that's it. That's the one. I know it. We don't need to go any further. That's it for that one. But, I would say, and then because I'm acting in it too. So, when this is my real first slasher film, so to speak, you know what I mean, with blood and special effects and all that stuff. This is my first one doing that. So to me, that was it was hard. It was trying to get everything down where it's going to look good, because you only got one shot at it, because there's no going back to retake that. You know what I mean? Because we don't have the money for it. So. And to pay the actors and all that stuff. So to me, it's once you get all that done, and then you're in post, and when it's all pieced together, that it flows. And if you have to pick up a pickup shot of something like in a car, that's easy stuff. But going to have a pickup shot of a kill scene, it's just there's no money for that. You know what I mean? So the relief is once we watch it, and I'm like, okay, now I can say, oh my God, this thing is great, because we don't have to go back and reshoot anything, and there's no pickup shots. And like I said, if there was, it would be something small. But to me, that would be the satisfying thing, is when you sit there and watch the rough cut and you're like, wow, this thing is awesome. And that's exactly what we did, because my DP and editor, he's from Long Island. So he stayed at my house for the 10-day shoot here, instead of going back and forth traveling, because we were shooting from 5 at night, because a lot of it was a night shoot. So 5 at night to 5 or 6 in the morning, we'd shoot, come home. He'd be right on his computer, download the dailies, get that all done. And I'm like, I'm going to see. He's like, yeah, I'm going to start cutting this thing together now. And because he's a big horror guy, like that's his passion. This guy, horror is his main thing. But so for me, at the end of the day, when it's all, even if it's a rough cut, you have everything. And the satisfaction of seeing it, you're like, wow, this is good. And there's no mess ups here. So for me, that would be the most important thing when you're a low budget like we are. But I can tell you one thing, even though that we're low budget, this movie looks like it was shot for $1 million. That's how nice. Good it is. And
nice.
A lot of that's because Mark is, he's a great camera guy. And he takes a lot of pride in his work, whether he's working for $5 or $5,000. It's just, you get the same result. So that's one awesome thing I'm happy about, is working with him, because he's no other guy I'd rather work with than him, because he could read my mind. But I'm ready to tell him something. He goes, I was just thinking the same thing, and I'm like, well, that's why we work so good together. You know what I'm thinking. Great. So I'd say that would be the best way to describe it when it's all done. So. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to have. Lucky that I had that guy, because he's he knows my sense of humor, my sick mind, so it all works out pretty good.
Perfect match, man. Perfect match. Now, I understand that you're doing a premiere April 6th. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're gonna have a little premiere at Smod Castle Cinema in Atlantic Highlands. So, like I said, it's Kevin Smith's movie theater he bought last year. So it's our local movie theater, and that's where we want to have the premiere, because everybody's local, and it's a nice, intimate place. You know what I mean, and a nice location. So, like I said, we're gonna have that for the one night premiere, and then try to raise a little money for some post stuff that we need, some extra stuff. And that's pretty much it. And then we're going to enter in a couple of film festivals, some pretty big ones, the prestige ones, and see how it goes with that.
Sweet. Now, how can everyone purchase tickets to the premiere?
You can go on Eventbrite.com and type in the name of the movie, What Lives Here, and it brings you up to the ticket, all the information that'll be on there. So you could, if people want to come to it, just go on to Eventbrite.com and type in the name of the movie, What Lives Here, and it brings you right to the page, and you can buy tickets right on there. Very easy.
Perfect. And I will have the link down in the description. So please click on and purchase tickets if you're in the area to check it out. Now, Troy, where can everyone find you, my friend?
They can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I don't do Twitter because I'm not that smart, but
Either.
yeah, pretty much Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah, right.
Awesome.
And then I have my my website is LeonardoBoysFilms.com. You can actually, all my stuff's up there for my prior movies and stuff like that. You can go click onto that and find out a lot more stuff about us. And yeah, that's probably the three main platforms that we're on now. And we got a lot of, we do a lot of good stuff. We have some comedies that are streaming on Tubi. It's Gone for the Weekend. That's streaming on Tubi, Plex, Apple, Folsom. What else? A bunch of other ones. Then we have also a sitcom, 6 episodes. It's called On Our Own. That's also streaming on Tubi, Folsom, all the Apple. So all them good stuff is streaming. Then also my YouTube page is Troy Burbank Films. People can go on there and subscribe, and all the stuff that's coming up, or all the stuff I've done in the past is all on there too. Some short little shorts and stuff like that. And then also today we just got released a drama I did back in 2002. It was called it's actually called Wasted Blind. That's all right now streaming on Folsom TV too. So that just got released today. So that's a new one,
Nice.
A drama that we won 9 awards with that one in festival. So yeah, so that one's pretty good. That's totally different. That's like a drama and a little tearjerker, so to speak. So that's a pretty good one.
Well, listen, everyone, if you're in the area, go out April 6th and check out We Live Here, and the link is down in the description. Also, swing over to YouTube and check out Troy Burbank's Films, and the link for that is down there in the description box too. Make sure to like, subscribe, and view some of his stuff. Also, swing over to Tubi, Plex, type in Troy Burbank, and you can see some of his newest and past movies. Troy, it's been an absolute blast having you on, man.
Oh,
Listen,
yeah.
you're more welcome. Come on anytime.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that, Travis. And like I said, and also you can watch the trailer too for What Lives Here. That's on the YouTube page or on my Facebook page. So you can watch the trailer for that. It's a great trailer. Have you seen that trailer yet, Travis?
I have. It looks absolutely amazing. It looks absolutely amazing.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. People are like blown out of the water. Like, wow, this trailer is awesome. It's like, well, the movie's even better.
Yes. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Listen, like I say, guys, give it today. YouTube, check it out. If you're in the area, April 6th, definitely go ahead and go to Eventbrite. Link is down in the description and support. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.